What it do, man? It's your boy Floyd Fayweather, best barber alive, bestbarberalive.com. That is the movement. That is the brand. We got a special guest today, my man, Alexis Gaudline. What it do, homie?
Chilling, man.
Good to see you again, man. Definitely always a pleasure seeing you. And, we was just talking a little bit. We're going to dig into some things today, man. But we're going to start with just telling me, a little bit about yourself, where you from, and what you're doing right now down here in San Antonio. A couple of different things that you're doing right now. Where you from?
Well,
originally?
I'm from Puerto Rico, and I moved to Jersey. That's where I was raised, and then 15 years ago I moved to San Antonio.
So, being from Puerto Rico and obviously, being Hispanic, there's a lot of things going on right now. You're Hispanic American, right? So with Donald Trump right now as our president, and I know that it's a real hot topic right now. Like, what do you think about Donald Trump being the president after all of the things that, he said that he was going to do with the Hispanic community, building walls and, all that kind of crazy stuff, man? Does that impact your life at all, or?
Well, it doesn't impact me personally, but it kind of impacts because I have a lot of Hispanic friends, and I'm in San Antonio, so we're right next door to Mexico. So it's wrong from him, for him to try to do what he said he's gonna do.
You think he's really gonna do it?
I don't think so. I don't think the money. It's gonna take a lot of money. It's gonna take a lot of time. People are not gonna allow that to happen. I don't think all Hispanics and everybody that is against it will go, hand in hand. It's not gonna happen.
What if he did? Let's say hypothetically, if he did, say, okay, boom, we're gonna start putting up these walls. Obviously, he's gonna hire Hispanics to do it because ain't nobody else gonna do it. Black folks ain't gonna do it. White folks ain't gonna do it. But if he did, do you think that a lot of Hispanic people would leave? Do you think that they would stay, just deal with it? Do you think they would riot, uprise? What do you think would happen?
Well, I don't think it'll go to that point because from now to the day that they decide to start the project, there's going to be a lot of bullshit going on.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of bullshit going on. People are they're not going to go for it. So before it even happens, they're going to have to deal with all the shit that's going to happen in the United States and even in Mexico and whatnot. And when that day do come, that if it does come, that they're going to build it, people are not going to be there to do it. There's going to be some that I think will go because, it'll probably be their job, that's how they're going to be feeding their family. But there's going to be some that are going to choose, their heritage before money. And like you said, if white folks are not going to step up or, black folks, whatever other race.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. Me personally, I wouldn't.
Now, being a successful, I consider you to be, somewhat successful, a successful barber here in San Antonio because I'm familiar with your work. But being a semi-successful or successful barber here in San Antonio, you have a lot of different things going on, a lot of different projects. What kind of things do you have going on right now?
Well, I have coming up here in March. That Lolo car show,
Mm-hmm.
They gave me the privilege to host a barber battle. So,
which is hot, by the way. I've been to the past two. Actually, hosted your last two, and definitely appreciative of that. And it's definitely a hot show. I'll be at the next one as well.
That and hoping to travel, to the Connecticut and WabaCon, hopefully. Private classes here and there. Other than that, just at work. That's most of my life is the barbershop.
Cool. So do you think that, doing so many things, because I know a lot of barbers out there, they're doing a lot of different things. They got their hands, dipped into a lot of different things, just trying to, I guess, maybe throw something up against the wall and make it stick, but do you think that if you just focused all your energy into one thing that you'd be more successful, or are you able to, I guess, focus on multiple things and have all of those things be as successful?
You can. I mean, you first have to be organized. When you organize everything that you're doing, you have everything written down and you plan it. You have to plan it because without a plan, you're not going to succeed. When you have multiple projects lined up, you have to make sure that each one has the same attention. Don't chew more than you know. Don't bite more than you can chew, because ultimately it's gonna come down on you. So if you're working on more than one project, make sure that everything that you're doing is written down. Your plan, you follow every step of your plan, and at the end, everything will work out.
Right, right, right. And what do you consider? You got a lot of good barbers out here. You got a lot of great barbers. But what do you think is the difference between for the young barbers out here? What do you think is the difference between being good and being great? What's the
Well,
difference?
that would depend on what you consider what being good and being great. To me, being great, it's all around. You have to not just cut good hair. I mean, if your business is just in the barbershop, to be a great barber, you have to be consistent. You have to be at the shop every day. Treat it as a normal job. I mean, we have more freedom than if you were working for an employer, but you have to treat it as if you were working for an employer because the moment that you start slipping, it's gonna get away from you. Uh, Now, if you are out here involved in the showbiz like you and I are, uh, it's not just about making money. People, they measure success by how much money you make, and it's not at all. Yes, success does come with money, but there's other things you have to be able to, make changes in somebody else's life. You have to be involved in the community. You have to do things to help others. Because if you're talking about success, a lot of people think that success means when you're taking care of you and your family and you have money in the bank and you got a house, whatever. That's success to an extent. You have to make a difference. I mean, we're not here just to go to work, come home, take care of our family. We're fortunate enough to do that, but
Right.
there's other people that don't have that option. So it's up to us if you can help the next person, whether it's someone out here in the regular world or someone in the industry. I mean, we were given this gift. There's many that have tried and have failed. We still, for the vets like us, we were given the gift and we went with it, and 10, 15, 20 years we're still going strong, and there's a reason behind that. It's because we didn't take it for granted.
Hmm.
We appreciate what we were given and we use it to our best advantage. And now that we have the option to help others, we are. So to me, that is success. The money comes with it. Now, if it comes in a large amount or a small amount, that all depends on how smart you make your moves and how you take care of business.
Now, does that have anything to do with marketing and a lot of the different things that we're seeing out here? Because we were talking about it earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Before we started, rolling or whatever, and we were talking about some of the things that we see in the barber community, the differences between reality versus perception, right? A lot of the things that we're seeing on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, or YouTube, wherever we're seeing these things, that we were talking about how young barbers or barbers that haven't necessarily been in the industry as long as us, right, are seeing things differently maybe than what we seen it because of social media, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of I don't know. I guess you could call it. I mean, you could say the Photoshop and some of the quote unquote successful, super successful barbers that are out here. Um, You know, are they doing, are any of the barbers doing a disservice, or is it really up to the younger barbers to know what the reality is versus the perception?
Well, I mean, marketing has always been a great tool for business. Um, for us, we didn't have the social media, so it was word of mouth, or you had to go and do the footwork. There was nothing else. So if you did a great haircut and somebody came back, because they were referred to, it was because they saw the haircut, in person. Now, you can post a picture on social media, and you can reach out to more people. But,
I remember my Instagram was carrying around an actual binder full of pictures in it. You know what I mean? That was like Instagram, like, yo, check out my work. I got a whole
yeah,
folder, a whole like actual portfolio.
yeah, that
You
was
know,
me as well. I mean, but now, people, it's good that social media is out because it's easier to promote yourself and to get business, but it also can hurt the industry because there's a lot of fakery out there, and a lot of people are not going to understand that because there's a business part of it, and then there's also, the younger generation, they don't know what we know, and I believe that there's a lot that don't want to know what we know because I don't think they would make it. I mean, it's easier nowadays to become a barber, way easier than it was back then. And it's easier to become successful now than it was back then because when I was growing up in the barber shop, I didn't see somebody with their own product on their shelf or their own t-shirts or their own hats or whatever form of, of advertising that they use for themselves. For us, it was just in the barbershop, and that was it. You go out to the clubs with your flyers, with your business cards, and that was it. That's as far as you can go. Nowadays, it's so much easier, but I believe that for us, because we have so much experience and we are involved in this because of the love that we have, it's our responsibility to make sure that we educate the up and coming barbers and teach them the difference between what's real and what's fake, what's going to help you and what's going to hurt you. And I see that a lot of great individuals that are in the industry are not stepping up to the plate to do so.
mm.
To me, it doesn't matter whether they do or not. I'm going to do it regardless because I feel, like I said, I was given this gift. And fortunately for me, after 20 years of cutting hair, I'm still cutting hair, and I believe I'm great at it. Outside of the barbershop, I'm also a great individual. I help others. I always try to give, the next person the helping hand. So I don't like certain things that are happening in the industry right now. And that's one of the reasons why I get myself involved as much as I do. Because to me, I take it personal. I worked my ass off for 20 years to get where I am today. And because of all these new barbers, they're not being led properly. They're making mistakes that can also hurt us. They're doing dirty work. They're going out there and stepping on other people's toes and talking bad about the next person. They have it in their mind that if you bring somebody else down, then that money's going to become yours.
Mm.
It doesn't work that way. You build that person up and y'all can share the wealth. That's guaranteed is going to work. When you try to take the next person down, it's going to come back to you, and then you're going to come down. So because of your actions, you could potentially destroy two careers.
Mm.
So at the end of the day, we have to look out for each other because nobody else is going to do it.
Right. What do you think the infatuation, or I'm not going to say infatuation. What do you think the appeal is to being a barber now? Because 15 years ago, 20 years ago, like it wasn't cool to be a barber. Like, it was all old heads. Like all the barbers was old heads, And now you'll be lucky if you walk into a barber shop and you see somebody that's over 40, over 45 years old. You know what I mean? Everybody that's in the shop now is in their 20s and 30s. So where do you think that changed, and why do you think that it's so popular to be a barber right now?
Well, I mean, it's obvious it's popular because we made it popular. Because if being a barber would have died out while we were growing, then we would not be here today. The generation that's feeding off of our hard work, as of today, will not have that opportunity. Because just imagine if the last 20 years, nothing but 40, 50-year-old individuals were cutting hair, then what we have accomplished in the last 20 years would have not been accomplished. I mean, for us, now that we're, in the older crowd, we always continue to do better and better, which opened up a lot of people's eyes to see like this is no longer the last resort, because that's what barbering was looked at. People would ask people, "Hey, what do you do for a living?" And a lot of people were afraid to say, "I'm a barber," because we were looked at as, well, you can't afford to go to college, you can't become a doctor or whatever. So here, become a barber, because you have no people skills or you don't have an education or whatever. I mean, nowadays there's barbers that are making more than individuals with PhDs and whatnot, and that's there now because of us.
So barbers is like the male strippers now.
I mean, we're doing it, and it's all because like I said, just imagine if for the last 20 years we weren't around.
Right.
You got to think about the styles that have been created in the last 20 years. Uh, and back in the day, hip hop was not involved in the barber industry as it is now.
Right.
And then you're talking about hip hop. You got rock and roll stars being involved. You have big corporations wanting us to be involved because they know that power. I mean, you're talking about the world. We're not just local.
Yeah, Fat Joe is like a huge advocate for the barber community.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's so we have so much power because there's so many of us, and there's so many great barbers and stylists. It's not just barbers. I mean, we make a difference. It is everyone that comes to our chair, they come and they want to have a good conversation. They come for advice. I mean, what other career can say that they can help people out just by giving them a service?
Exactly. Well, that's crazy, man. Just to kind of switch it up a little bit because I was thinking about it earlier. I don't know if you in the sports at all? Basketball?
No, not really.
No.
Yeah, I don't have time for sports.
No TV.
Nah, I rarely watch TV. I mean, I work 9 to 7.
Yeah. That's probably the most TV that you see is like in the shop. In the
social
shop.
media.
Yeah, that's pretty much all.
That's my entertainment.
I'm the same way, bro. Just I got my little Kindle, what is it called, Fire Stick, and that's about it. That's about it. Well, hey, man, definitely appreciate you coming through, man. Keep on doing your thing, bro. You know what I mean? Definitely respect everything that you're doing out here. Don't forget to check out Alexis Gaudline and the Lolo Card Show. What day is it? What month?
It's in March. Let me check.
This man got a lot of things going on. That's why. You gotta keep everything organized. So he's got the Lolo Car Show. You got the CT Barber Expo. You have BarberCon up in New York. Just so many other things going on, and Alexis Gaudline has actually been a judge for me a few times, and we're looking forward to doing some more work, some big things. 2016 was a real good year. 2017 is going to be even better. And that kind of leads me to one more question. Because we did an interview with Dre Daniels, who I know that you're familiar with, because we've all worked together. And he mentioned about how barber battles have kind of slowed down in San Antonio, which, as everybody knows me, I put on barber battles, and there's, some other people that put on barber battles here in San Antonio in the state of Texas. But why do you think that, the barber battles have slowed down? Do you think that they've gotten a little watered down, or do you think people just need some space to breathe? What do you think about it?
I don't think it has gotten watered down. I think San Antonio it's a little bit behind compared to other cities when it comes to people wanting to support and understand the concept of supporting one another. Because at the end of the day, it's just like us at the shop. I'm nobody without a customer, and the customer is not going to have a great haircut without me. And it's the same with the next man. I mean, I don't mean necessarily just me as his barber, but we as barbers are no one with customers and vice versa. And it goes the same way with everything else in the industry. If people don't support barber shows, competitions, then competitions cannot be held. I mean, because it takes money, it takes a crowd, it takes participation. Without any of those, then there's nothing.
Exactly.
And people don't realize, like, it's going to these battles. You have to be really smart, because when you go to these battles, it's an investment for yourself. If you're trying to be an upcoming barber to get involved in, in whether it's competing. I mean, I used to compete back in the day, and I saw certain things that needed my touch. So I decided, you know what, I'm gonna go from battling to judging. I think I've made a difference because I'm fair. At the
Hmm.
end of the day, I had the experience of battling,
Right.
and I see certain things that needed to change. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna become a judge, and it took me going to shows to realize that, you know what, I need to make some changes. But if I don't go, I can't expect for people to, support me, because it's a two-way street. You can't ask somebody to help you out if you're not willing to help them out.
Hmm. Absolutely, absolutely. So what day is your event going to be?
March 26th.
March 26th. Y'all make sure that y'all go and check him out. The Lolo Car Show, Rosedale Park, right?
Yes, sir.
March 26th, man. Y'all make sure y'all go out and check that out. It's gonna be crazy. You'll see me there. You'll see Gaudline there. You'll see a bunch of the big hitters there, man. Y'all make sure y'all go check that out. Any last words, bro?
Stay humble, everyone. Always shoot forward. If you fall, get back up and keep it going.
There it is. Respect Barber Battle Culture. We out.